It's time to start a new series on this channel, and I am excited for it and a little bit nervous. But basically, I finished watching Death Note. You can go check out all my Death Note reactions. And I decided on what series I was going to watch next. So I put up a poll, and pretty, overwhelmingly, surprisingly, there were quite a lot of votes for Vinland Saga. So, Vinland Saga, I have not seen, obviously. I haven't really looked at anything about it. I've seen, I think I know kind of the OP, just because I've heard the song be played in, different anime videos and stuff. So, I guess I know that, and I'm assuming it's about Vikings. But, other than that, I don't really know anything about the show at all. I don't know main characters' names. I don't even know really if it's an action show or if it's just a drama. I don't know if it's gonna be emotional. I don't know if there's gonna be comedy to it. It's really hard to tell. I don't imagine, in my head there's not gonna be that much comedy, but maybe there is. So how would I know? But I am excited to watch this. So I'm just gonna get some housekeeping things. I mean, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm Gent, and I watch a lot of anime and TV shows and stuff. If you enjoy my style of reaction, please feel free to subscribe. For this series, I am going to be posting it, basically what I do is I generally have one piece and another show, and on spare days when I'm not watching seasonals, I'll either post one piece or the other show, and I go back and forth. One piece, the other show, one piece. So right now, Vinland Saga is the other show, and so I'm going to be doing that. Basically, so it'll probably be around once a week. And that's until we finish the first season. I know there's a season 2 coming. I don't know exactly when that is, but when it comes around, I'm almost definitely gonna check it out. Also, I just want to state right now, and I'm not gonna spend a long time explaining myself, I'm doing the dub for this show. I watch both subs and dubs for basically every show that I watch. I choose based on my own, looking into it on which one I want to watch. I think I want to watch the dub for this one. That's my decision. It's fine, or I don't want to hear it. No more discussions about it. Thank you very much. I'm sick of it, okay? I enjoy the dubs and subs of all of these shows. I think I'm going to enjoy this one in dub. And I know that there are 2 dubs for this show because they had weird separate licenses. So Sentai had a license and Netflix had a license. I'm watching the Netflix dub. 1, because it's the only one that I can see legally available easily. And 2, because I have actually read that it's better anyway. So, and also I like the cast more from what I saw. I saw a few names in there that I liked a bit more than the names I saw in the Sentai dub. So without further ado, I think that's everything that I wanted to say before this episode. Sorry for I always feel bad for long intros on the first episode, but I gotta do it just to handle all the stuff that people might be saying or asking. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into this episode. If you want to watch the full-length reaction with me, you can do that on my Patreon account, and I am also doing early access for this series, so 1 week in advance, or 1 episode in advance, you can watch the full-length version of the episode. So right now, you should be able to go to my Patreon account, and episode 2 should be on there, I think. So, let's get into this episode of Vinland Saga. Here we go. Hello? I didn't expect to see motorbikes. Is this supposed to be like a studio logo? Okay, WIT Studio. Okay. I thought my expectations were going to be thrown for a loop for a second. Oh. Thors? Like Thor with an S? Oh no, is it a dead someone? Oh, yeah, it is. Wow, look at that shot. Oh! Damn! I guess this is WIT Studio. They are... Oh! Damn. Year 987 AD. I can't read that!
What's the matter? What about you?
I'm going to slow them down.
Okay.
What do you mean?
I believe you, but I don't know how.
Do that from... Wait, you're going alone?
I trust him based on what I've already seen him do. Oh my god. Damn. They didn't even react. Oh my god. Oh, hail. Damn. Oh! Bro, you got an arrow in you. Oh. Oh! Damn. Oh my god. Wow. That's kind of gorgeous. What an intro. Okay. That's such a cool panning. There's so many panning shots so far. Whoa, that's cool. That's a cool way to end it. Somewhere far away. Okay, 1002 AD, Iceland. I know this is stupid, but isn't Iceland more grassy than that? I don't know much about geography.
Did you go feed the sheep and milk the cow? Sure.
But I thought Iceland was grassy and Greenland was icy. I've milked a cow before. I was allowed to do it. I didn't just do it.
And finally, we found it. A new continent.
Oh. Sailing looks miserable. Not
A
interested.
new frontier. So I called it Vinland.
Greenland? Did he say that? Or did he say Vinland?
We made friends with the natives as well. Couldn't speak each other's languages, but that didn't stop us.
Did you actually make friends with them?
In fact, they even gave me this pipe as a token of our friendship.
Okay.
And also, this.
It looks like
Only a
there's
fearless
blood on
warrior
those.
is allowed to wear this
Did you kill the natives? I hope not.
My grandfather told me it lives in the west, eating all the ships that sail by. And
Jormungandr?
that nothing exists beyond it.
Which ought to give you some idea of how phenomenal I am.
Everybody says that you're just a child who has some hair on his lip.
Sure, you go off on adventures, but you're useless in battle.
Oh my god, you're
Don't
being
believe
roasted.
everything you hear. Hey, Thors! These ankle biters are mocking me, so talk some sense into them.
Well, I think that's enough for tonight.
Oh, he's
Sorry, it took
bowing
them
out.
all. Get there safe.
Yes, Thors. Of course.
You can't ask me to lie for you. What the heck? Is this guy like a slave or something? He's got a chain around his neck.
You must be frozen stiff, Ilva. Let me warm you up.
You pervert.
Okay, alright, yep.
Go to bed. You'll catch
Maybe
a
send
cold.
this man home.
Fine.
I was able to make it out there round trip.
It must be scary living back then without science and reassurance, you know? You don't really know what the world's like. Oh my god.
Do your worst! Ilva, there's no room for both of us. You have your own bed.
No thanks. Now go back to sleep and let me give you a big hug.
We do things our way. And always have.
There's gotta be a faster
were
way to
so
do that,
odd.
isn't there? Oh!
Ilva!
Don't die.
Ilva?
Something like what? Or someone? Is it the prisoner? It is. Is that frostbite on his arms? I don't know what frostbite looks like, but it was just blackened.
With no other options, we walked across the frozen sea.
God, it just sounds miserable.
Before I knew it, I was the only one left.
I thank God I live in a world with McDonald's and iPhones, you know?
He was buried in the snow.
Aww. Are
That
those
looks like it must have hurt. How do you think he got them?
whipping?
Put more wood on the fire.
Our ancestors lived far to the east, in a land called Norway.
Norway.
warmer than
I know of Norway.
The sea never freezes.
I've heard of that place.
Beautiful place. His forces tore through our villages like a
Harrowed.
raging wildfire.
You're lying.
Huh? Why?
You really are a big liar! My father and my ancestors would never
Oh,
Stupid old man!
I see. I mean, yeah, okay. I understand. He sees his father as, you know, infallible.
Father!
He's a runaway.
Oh, wow!
Alive!
Hey,
Incredible.
it's so cold. Ilva, the fire.
Hello, so cold.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Thors.
I hate it.
I bet. Oh.
I've nowhere else to go.
Come on, Thors.
No doubt he and his men are here looking for trouble again.
Oh
And you're the
no.
only one who can face him. Leif is stalling them.
So
for
what's his
moments.
name?
It won't be long before
Halvdan?
they
I
draw
couldn't
their
quite
blades.
hear it.
Please hurry.
Honestly, tougher than Japanese
The
names.
only thing that looks good around someone's neck is a chain. An iron chain.
Oh.
People can be so uncivilized. Wouldn't you agree?
No, you sound like a
Last
psycho.
night, one of my slaves broke his chains and escaped.
You're the cocky bastard who took off my left arm.
You're one to talk. I only claimed your arm because you took my older brother's leg.
Honey, that's enough.
Damn.
The People's Council means nothing to me.
Oh. Okay, this guy's good with the chains.
Lord Halfdan.
Oh! Ah! Oh! Jeez!
And it's the only thing capable of turning savage brutes into men.
Oh.
Don't forget that.
Oh, that's disturbing imagery.
Does anyone know where he is?
No. No, I don't.
Stay with us. Hey, wake up!
Oh no.
You have to focus or you'll die.
Is he dead?
Father?
Oh.
Across the ocean, you'll find a wonderful place called Vinland,
Oh, okay.
where the sun shines bright.
Oh,
No slave traders, far from the wars.
Vinland, of
Go
course.
there. Someday.
Aww. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no, the chain dangling? Uh-oh. It's not what it looks like. No, this is just his twin brother.
Thors.
You? He was about to die. We were just nursing him back to health so you could...
Tell me, how much did you pay for this slave?
Oh. Are you gonna double the price?
He's coming home with me. He must be tortured as an example to the other slaves.
Just tell the other slaves you sold him to be tortured.
What if I give you 4? Silence. What if I asked to double it?
8?
Agreed. All yous are under 3 years of age. How could I say no?
Oh my god.
You're kidding.
But I mean, yeah, it's a man's life.
Need of our sheep now?
Ilva? Are you sad?
I thought that was obvious. He gave away all of those ewes and the man still died anyway.
Father, you're such a fool.
Father?
He's saving a man's
Are we
life.
runaways like he was? What would happen if we wanted to escape from here?
Hmm.
Where would we go?
Who are you? Got a very square head. Okay, what? I can't pass what I'm looking at. What is that? A sword? Don't skip the credits, Netflix. Oh my god, I want to hear it. Oh, it's Einar! Of course it would make me cry. She's incredible. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about before I talk about the actual episode itself is I'm going to talk about the OP and the ED, because I sometimes like to take the OP and ED out and make them their own video. So I think for ease of use, I will just do that first. OP was very solid. I really liked it. I've heard it, or at least a snippet of it. The main snippet I've heard is a bit where it's like panning through the boat and then it like shows, I assume it's Thorfinn holding his knife. and then sort of, you know, pans outwards and stuff. Like that part of the song, I generally see when people are like putting a clip from Vinland Saga and they'll put like the OP clip. That's what I've seen. But yeah, it was a good song. It was kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It was like kind of heavy-ish, but it was like hiding that it was heavy. Because it sounded like, and I gotta listen to it again, but it sounded like there were like scream vocals, but they were backing up the main vocals, you know. And I kind of like that sound to songs. I'm not someone who listens to a lot of, you know, scream type metal and stuff, but I am someone who I think can appreciate it. I have had friends in the past, and still have friends who really like that type of music, and so I've been exposed to a lot of it, and yeah, I just kind of like the sound now, and so yeah, this was like a nice little like compromise. And maybe it wasn't like a screaming thing, but whatever effects they were using did make it sound like someone was screaming the vocals underneath the singing of the vocals. The ED was beautiful. It was really nice. I mean, the visuals were just kind of like, I mean, they were nice in that they were symbolic. They didn't seem necessarily impressive. Like, there weren't any shots that I was like, oh man, like that's really beautiful or whatever. But I think it is one of those EDs that over time I'm going to come to really like it, based on how much I like the show. I think my enjoyment of that ED is going to be directly proportional to how much I like the show. And as I said, Einar is incredible. I love her voice. I actually put her on like a list in my head of like people that I think I could recognize their voice instantly, and so I'm really mad that I didn't recognize her voice instantly. But yeah, she's got an incredible voice. It's like really kind of, I don't know how to describe it, kind of like scratchy in a way, but it sounds great. And yeah, and the song just fit really well. So possibly if we get like a really emotional episode and that emotional episode actually hits me deep, then that ED might hit me even deeper, you know? So yeah, that's my thoughts on the OP and ED. And if I have an OP ED video, the video will end right there. For the rest of the show, so the first thing I want to do is correct a mistake I made because I'm a moron. So, I don't know much about geography, right? I just don't, okay? I don't know much at all. So, like if you ask me a question about where a country is or whatever, I'm probably not going to give you the right answer. I have a very narrow view of stuff. Now, one of the only things that I can like remember from geography in high school is like Greenland and Iceland, and that they had something to do with Vikings, and then Sweden, Denmark, and Norway also, you know, had something to do with the Viking era. But I remember those places, and I remember that they related to Vikings. So when they mentioned Iceland in this episode, my brain was like, bam, bam, mention Greenland. And then when they were like discovering a new continent or whatever, the first thing I thought was oh, is this gonna be Greenland? Greenland's not a continent, but that was the first thing I thought was like, is this gonna be Greenland? And so when he said Vinland, my brain just thought he had an accent and was saying Greenland, and just his G's were V's. So, yeah, that was stupid. But later on, Thors mentioned Vinland, and it all clicked to me, and I went back and rewatched that scene because I was like, wait, did he actually say Vinland back then? And he did. So I'm stupid. I'm probably gonna leave it in the video though because it's worth showing how stupid I am. But you know, I used my thinking capacity as best I could and got to the correct answer in the end. I have no idea if Vinland is actually like a real, like not necessarily a real place, but even like a real name that people use for a real place. You know, I don't know. I don't know anything about anything that happened before the year 2000, because I was 3 years old in 2000, and so that's, I assume, when my brain started taking in information, and I hate history, so I don't read back on stuff. But I have no idea if Vinland is an actual place or an actual thing that Vikings used to, maybe an actual story that Vikings used to talk about, or an actual name for a place that we know is something else. I have no idea. But anyway, so far, I assume Thorfinn is going to be the protagonist, based on the OP was showing him like growing up, and it had a decent amount of like focus on Thorfinn, and I feel like I've seen him before. I think the older version of Thorfinn kind of looks like Armin from Attack on Titan, so I assume he's gonna be the protagonist. And Thors, and I apologize if I get any of these names wrong. Again, I'm watching it dubbed, which is great for my enjoyment, but the bad news about watching it dubbed is I get much worse with names because I can't read them. But Thors is his father, and I think he's gonna be sort of like the mentor early on, maybe showing Thorfinn like how he should live and inspiring him, which makes me think something's gonna happen to Thors kind of maybe early on ish, like maybe on episode, I don't know, 3 or something, because I think we need a reason for the time skip if we are gonna have a time skip. And so I think if we were to have Thors die, then we have a time skip to see how Thorfinn grew up with the loss of Thors. And if he does die, I can imagine he'd probably die at, what the heck's this guy's name? Halvdan? This is the hardest name for me. Here's the problem. I get so used to, in anime, I'm pretty good now, I think, at picking up names in anime, because for the most part, Japan uses the same syllable structure, and so names are based around the same syllables, and as long as you just hear what they say and write it down, you can probably get it right most of the time, as long as you actually like listen to the syllables properly. But now we're in like a European setting, and I suck with that. Like I'm terrible. If their name isn't going to be like Matthew, or their name isn't going to be like Komiko, you know, then like whatever's in between, I'm not going to be able to get very well. So I'm just going to say what it sounds like. It sounded like they said Halvdin. I wrote down Halvdin. I really liked that character from the short amount we saw of him, like the chain guy. I think he was very interesting. I liked his voice, first of all, but I liked the whole, like, he uses the metaphor of the chains, and he likes chains so much so that he was like, don't mock the law, they represent the chains on our society and stuff. Like I like how his character was consistent with that, even though immediately he comes and you're like, this is a villain, because he's a guy who owns a slave. And like, obviously different times, it's kind of tough to put people in a good person, bad person box when slavery exists in the world generally. That's a big problem with, like, when you look at, you know, any sort of history, like American presidents in history and stuff. You can look at Hamilton, for example. I've watched the musical Hamilton a 1,000 times. And I mean, even the good guys in Hamilton were actually slave owners. It's just not mentioned in the musical. But yeah, it's kind of difficult to judge morality. Also, I say good guys with quotation marks. It's kind of difficult to judge morality in a world with slaves in it, because that is an inherently horrible, disgusting act. So, but like, with that being said, the guy screamed villain instantly because of that. But then he's at least an interesting dude, and his entire, like, approach to everything and his methodology was cool. And it's like his lackeys, his like bodyguards, whoever the hell was with him, it's like they expected him to be stereotypically evil, you know, and so they kept trying to speak for him and be like, oh no, he's not gonna do that. And then immediately he steps in and he's like, I'm reasonable, I'm not gonna say no to sheep for this dude. Like yeah, I want to make an example out of this guy, but this is a dying slave that I'd have to haul all the way back, or I could get 8 sheep for it. Absolutely, I'm getting 8 sheep. So yeah, very, very interesting. I liked the sister so far. Even though it's kind of sad how she feels like she's got her own like warped morality. She's a little like, she's a little in her own world, you know. She doesn't see things in the lens of a greater morality. She sees things only as it pertains to her. So she knows she wants to, you know, protect their family, and so she doesn't want to house this slave. She knows that they, you know, she cares about their sheep and she wants their sheep, and they have a lot of sheep, and she doesn't like that they were all given away, even though it was for not only this man's life, but also for like Thor's dignity, I guess, his own sense of self, I would imagine. Like, I don't think he'd be able to live with himself if he didn't at least try to save this man. So yeah, I just think it's very interesting. I didn't know what I was in for the show. But I like it so far, even though it's a setting that, you know, I am not instantly like instantly in for, just because, you know, I don't know, I like modern day settings in everything, but with that being said, this is so far very interesting. And I was gonna say fun. I don't think it's fun. I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. But the action scene at the start, I forgot to mention, that was awesome. Like, that was like panning through different ships and lots of camera movement and really cool choreography. Like, that was really cool. And I mean, that's sort of what WIT does. I've seen, obviously, Attack on Titan. So I've seen WIT's seasons of that. I've seen all of Attack on Titan. And I've seen Vivi. Fluorite Eyes Song, I think it was called, which had some beautiful moments and stuff as well. So like and I've also seen Ranking of Kings, right? That's also WIT. So yeah, I'm familiar with WIT's style and the effort that they put into stuff, and I still was very surprised by that opening scene, you know? I kind of wasn't expecting it, so that was all really great. Anyway, I feel like I have been terrible at explaining myself for certain things in here, so I just want to end the video. Thank you very much for watching this. If you want to see more Vinland Saga and you want to join me on my journey, please make sure to support the video and subscribe to the channel. Like the video, comment down below, tell me what you thought of my reaction, tell me what you thought of the episode. Don't spoil anything for me, please. Don't yell at me for watching the dub. But yeah, feel free to like share little facts and all that sort of stuff. Anything you want really in the comments below. I can't really stop you. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Make sure to go to my Patreon account if you want full-length early access and exclusive videos. You can watch episode 2 right now. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.